Some of the scenes out of Parliament are just extraordinary. It's never a dull moment when it comes to Taiwan politics.
No, obviously not. And what we saw last night were the largest public protests in years in Taiwan, as these protesters, as you say, trying to stop lawmakers from passing this new bill. And the reason they're so against this new bill is that it really is a quite remarkable expansion of the legislature's powers. The bill would give lawmakers the ability to call the president in front of them whenever they request. The president would also have to present an annual State of the Nation address, similar to the United States. It would also expand lawmakers' abilities to investigate the government. It would expand their powers to request documents from the government. It would also implement fines for any government officials who are speaking to the legislature and are found to have told untruths to lawmakers that could result potentially in prison sentences of up to 1 year. So on the executive branch, this has really been seen as a huge power grab by the legislature, and an attempt really by the legislature, which is controlled by the more China-friendly Kuomintang here, as an attempt to really curtail new President Lai Ching-te just shortly after he took power on Monday.
So how much power do the people really have here, Sam? If they're against this proposed legislation, can they really block it through protests?
Well, that's what we're going to see over the coming days. So last night, the legislation passed its second reading. It now goes into its third reading, after which it will become law on Friday. So I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a repeat of these protests Friday evening, potentially even bigger. We saw about 10,000 people out on the streets last night, according to our own estimations and local media. And so that should repeat itself on Friday when this bill comes to, passing its final hurdle before becoming law. And this really does harken back to 10 years ago in Taiwan, when the government at the time tried to pass a trade deal with China, and people took to the streets in huge numbers to protest against this bill, and actually managed to storm the legislature and occupy it for several weeks, and eventually forcing the government to shelve the bill. So that was 10 years ago. That was called the Sunflower Movement, and that was a rather pivotal moment in recent Taiwanese history, and really is an example for these protesters. And so you go out there and you spend time with the protesters on the streets. They do refer back to that, and they are saying, some people are going to try to get into the legislature, try and stop this bill if at all possible.